This is a WMUR Commitment 2020 special in partnership with the New Hampshire Institute of Politics. Conversation with the candidate. Tonight, former Vice President Joe Biden.
Good evening and welcome to our Conversation with the Candidate series. I'm Adam Sexton and our guest this evening is Vice President Joe Biden. Tonight we'll be getting to know Mr. Biden and where he stands on key issues. At the start of our show, I'll be asking the candidate some questions, and then after a break, we'll have our studio audience ask their questions in a town hall format. But before we begin with that, let's take a quick look at the candidate's biography.
Joe Biden was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania in 1942. He attended St. Helena's School and Archmere Academy in Delaware. Biden then graduated from the University of Delaware before getting his law degree from Syracuse in 1968. He practiced law in Wilmington and served on the Newcastle County Council before being elected to the U.S. Senate in 1972 at the age of 29, making him one of the youngest senators ever to be elected. Biden was re-elected in 1978, 84, 90, 96, 2002, and 2008. During his tenure, he served on the Senate Foreign Relations and Judiciary Committees and worked to write and spearhead the Violence Against Women Act. Biden resigned from the Senate in January 2009 after being elected vice president on the Democratic ticket headed by Barack Obama. The pair were re-elected in 2012. As vice president, Biden traveled more than 1 million miles to more than 50 countries and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom with distinction. He is married to Dr. Jill Biden and is a father and grandfather.
Vice President Biden, thanks for joining us for Conversation with the Candidate. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
So 19 Democratic candidates in this race, and polls put you at the very top, the front runner. Most people say that has a lot to do with name recognition. So what do you have to do as more people pay attention to this race to stay on top?
Be myself. I'm running. I know why I'm running. I've been clear about what I would do as president. And the good and bad news is the American people know me pretty well. And so it's a little harder to make assertions about me that aren't true, and it's a little harder to cover up things that are really my weaknesses.
A lot of this campaign is about new ideas. You've been in politics a very long time. What new ideas are you bringing to this race?
A lot of new ideas. For example, and I brought new ideas all along. I brought the Violence Against Women Act no one had talked about. I was the guy who came in and moved very heavily to deal with how we deal with, foreign policy. I got drug courts introduced in the United States instead of sending people to prison for drug offenses. I was able to get an assault weapons ban. No one else has ever done that. No one's ever beaten the NRA nationally. But the new ideas are ideas that relate to you inherit the world that you run in. And because of this president, there's a need for to deal with new problems and it requires new ideas. For example, he's tried to decimate health care, Obamacare. I think health care should be an absolute right, not a privilege. And I think there's a way to do that by restoring the cuts he's made, expanding health care to include a public option so that everyone is covered, making sure. And so there's a whole range of things that are going to require new thinking. We're dealing with a different world. The next president's going to be in a situation where he or she is going to have to put back together an alliance that is being frayed badly by this president. His embrace of thugs like Kim Jong-un and folks like Putin and so we have a lot to repair, and it's going to require someone, and I hope I'm the person, I think I am, who on day one can command the world stage, pull together folks. And the newest idea maybe that is out there now is, I've worked on it my whole career, but is a fundamental urgency to deal with climate change. And we not only need a climate plan that's going to fundamentally alter our course in the United States to move toward net zero emissions, but we only make up 15% of the problem. We need a diplomat in chief who's going to pull together the other 85% of the problem. Those folks who are part of the Paris Climate Accord we put together, and that requires someone who knows these leaders and has their confidence. And so it's a slightly different set of requirements. The ideas I have on climate, the ideas I have on healthcare, the ideas I have on how to reinstate the middle class in a way that we bring everybody along, I think are as new and as fresh as anyone's, and I think maybe fresher.
Democrats tend to succeed when they nominate sort of a new and young inspirational leader, so you'd be going against that trend. But do you think that you have to inspire voters with your record? You've had it for a long time here. People are looking at this. Is it fair when people pull out things from the past and re-examine them through a modern lens?
Well, yes and no. It's fair to raise anything about my past, but if it's in context. For example, people talk about, well, you voted for this provision in a bill, and why'd you do that? Today it's not popular. Well, look back on it. At the time, there was an overwhelming problem. Teddy Kennedy voted for dealing with violent crime in America. Teddy Kennedy. It's the context, and and what I'm trying not to do is do the same thing to other people that they're attempting to do to me. Going back and say, well, when you in 1982 you were this party, or you said this, or you did that. What's your answer for the future? What do you define as the needs that exist today, and what are you, the candidate, going to do to deal with that problem? It's about the future. And the more we talk about the past, the more we've played into Trump's hands about allowing him to get away scot-free without having to discuss the dilemma will have already put this country in, and the terrible circumstance we're in if he continues for another 6 years, 5.5 years.
Mr. Vice President, thanks for answering these questions.
Thanks.
The tougher ones await
All right.
from our town hall audience. After the break, we'll bring in
Here.
the studio audience to join the conversation. Stay with us.